My name is Jeannie Abel.
Follow along again, panel, if you will. I, Jeannie Abel, was an independent candidate for president in 1964. I ran on the best party ticket, and the reason you may not have recognized my name at first is that I used the name Yetta Bronstein. I decided to throw Yetta's hat in the ring because I felt what this country needed was a mother. I campaigned by telephone, direct mail, and radio interviews, but I never kissed a baby, never shook a hand, and as a matter of fact, never made a personal appearance. Despite the fact that nobody knew what Yetta Bronstein looked like, I got 400 votes in the Maryland primary, which is the only actual count that I'm aware of. The planks in my platform included national bingo, self-fluoridation, a return to penny candy, a cat in every meat market, 16 ounces in every pound, and a new postage stamp with a picture of Jane Mansfield. As you may have heard, I was defeated by Lyndon Baines Johnson. Evidently, his slogan, "All the way with LBJ," had more popular appeal than mine. Vote for Yetta and things will get better. Signed, Jeannie Abel. Panel, these three ladies all claim to be Jeannie Abel, alias Yetta Bronstein. We'll start the cross-examination with Orson Bean.
Number 3, I imagine that the first natural question would be, why did you perform this extraordinary deed?
More as a spoof than anything else.
A spoof? You just wanted to see if you could get away with it?
I was tired of being just a den mother.
Just a den mother, number 1. Did you have any other reason?
Number 1?
Number 1. Any other reason?
Just for kicks.
Just for kicks? Number 2, did you ever hear of the fellow that organized a society to put pants on animals? Just as a kick? Did you ever hear?
Yes, I've heard of him.
Who did that, do you know?
I think the gentleman's name was Alan Abel.
All right. Any relation?
My husband.
Oh, all right. Number 3, do you feel that if the name had been anything like Irving Glutz or something just sitting there on the ballot, that he would have gotten some votes just for being there?
I rather like the name Yetta Bronstein. I think it has a certain ring to it.
Yeah, all right. Number 1.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 1, did you make up the name Yetta Bronstein?
Yes, I did.
You had nothing to do with it.
Well, I like the name because I have an aunt named Yetta, and my very first boyfriend's name was Bronstein.
Oh,
so-
very good. Number 2, there was a lady in American history who ran for president. Do you know her name?
Well, Margaret Chase Smith did for the
No, but
primary.
this is in the 1800s.
No, I have never heard of her.
Number 3, who was Mrs. Pankhurst?
That I don't know.
Number 1, do you know?
No, I don't.
You don't know Mrs. Pankhurst?
I know. I just want to see if you know.
A famous feminist. Emmeline. My dear.
You collect
On with the
feminists,
questioning, Kitty. Ignore all this.
Number 3, do you think this was obstructing the wheels of progress to put your hat in the ring as a kind of joke? Didn't that upset the whole voting in Maryland if you got 400 votes?
Not at all. I think in some ways it probably opened people's eyes to what actually can happen.
I see.
Tom Poston.
Thank you. I'm interested in this man who wants animals clothed. Number 1, who performs those lectures and things about clothing the animals? Is that your husband?
My husband, that's right.
Well, doesn't somebody else have something to do with that? I've seen somebody else do that, a good friend of mine.
Well, there may be some people who copied him, but my husband was the very first one.
Oh, well, I'm surprised to hear that. Number 3, where do you live, actually?
My actual home now is in New York,
I mean, where were you when this primary was run on?
in Boston.
Thank you. Number 2, were you in a national election? You were on a national ticket?
I was a national write-in candidate.
And you only counted 400 votes in Maryland, no place else?
Well, I claim that I got more than Mickey Mouse and Arthur Godfrey in the Alabama.
They were also on the ticket?
That's right.
Peggy Cass.
Number 3, do you have animals?
At the time, I only had a white mouse, and I know it's popular to have an animal when you're running for president. But
Well,
we
did
lived
you
in an
put pants
apartment.
on it?
No, we didn't.
They'd be teeny-weeny little pants.
Very difficult every
Now,
day.
number 1, you say you want 16 ounces in a pound. Well, what's so new? There are 16 ounces in a pound. Aren't there?
Do you always get 16 ounces in a pound?
Well, I certainly hope that my dealers are honest. Yes, I mean, and number 2, what's self-fluoridation? What do? Drink it yourself or what?
It's a pill that will allow you to have the choice of fluoridating if you want to, and if you don't, you don't have to.
Are you going to make them? Would you have made this pill, or does it already exist?
I would...
That's it. Time for you now to mark your ballots. So mark them, panel, with the knowledge that you have. Mark them at once without change and without any consultation. And, of course, don't change. But vote now for number 1, number 2, or number 3? Ballot all marked. Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
Well, I voted for number 1. I think she looks like a mother, but the other two seem to be more serious to me looking than that. But I thought Buck Henry did that guy.
Who's the real guy?
Oh, I see.
Peggy Cass.
I voted for number 3 because of that white mouse. Somebody that would run for president would have a white mouse. I don't know.
Orson B.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what it is. I don't really. I voted for number 3 because I had to vote for somebody.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 2 because of the shy way in which she admitted that it was her husband when Orson asked her who wanted to put the pants on animals.
Very well. There we have it with the votes all in and the reasons, as you heard, very ably given. Let's find out now how true or false we may be as we learn which one of these ladies, in truth, is Jeannie Abel. Will the real Jeannie Abel please stand up? You got it. Thank you very much. And incidentally, I'm sure you've been thinking about the answer to this next statement of mine. Jeannie Abel has just written a book about her political career as Yetta Bronstein. What's the name of it, Jeannie?
It's called The President I Almost Was.
Well, lots of good luck with it. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My real name is Beverly Barr. I lecture, and I'm on radio and television, and it's all on diet and exercise.
Thank you. And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Brenda Baker, and I'm a trademark for the Maine potato industry.
Well, I could say, how do you like them potatoes, but I won't. Checking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes. Good hunting, girls. That's 3 times $250 for a total of $750 for you to divide. And thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye, and God bless you. And now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Karen Pryor.
My name is Karen Pryor.
My name is Karen Pryor.
Follow along again, if you will, panel, with your copies of this one. I, Karen Pryor, am the curator of Sea Life Park in Hawaii. Sea Life Park is a marine oceanarium where visitors may observe a living recreation of a Hawaiian coral reef and learn about porpoise research in our Ocean Science Theater. My job is to supervise the training of the porpoises who are the real stars of Sea Life Park's 10 daily shows. I have taught our porpoises to carry messages to scuba divers, ride a surfboard, recover objects underwater while blindfolded using their built-in sonar systems, and swim an underwater slalom race through a tricky course of plastic hoops. In one area of our park called Whalers Cove, 6 porpoises race in unison, jump in unison, and with one flip of their flukes leap out of the water and spin 3 times in the air. I am the first animal trainer in history to teach porpoises by underwater sound commands. Signed, Karen Pryor. Very well, panel. These 3 ladies all claim to be Karen Pryor. We'll start with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Those porpoises are great. Tell me, what's the sound you make when you want them to jump?
What number?
Oh, number 3.
We have a tape-recorded sound.
Pardon me?
We have a tape-recorded sound.
Well, did you tape it yourself?
Well, our trainers have taped them, yes.
Well, then number 1, would you make the sound that's on the tape recorder for jump?
Yes.
Will you make it? I mean, will you say
Amy,
it?
what
Jump.
does it sound like?
I want to hear what jump is like in porpoise language.
There is no one sound for jump. You can use several different sounds.
I see. Now tell me, number 2, on which island of the Hawaiian Islands is yours?
On Oahu.
Thank you. I want to ask you, number 1, about riding surfboards. I mean, what do? Just belly flop on them?
They eventually do, but they don't begin that way. They begin just by putting their nose on them, but that's the way they ride them.
And they ride them right into the shore?
Yes.
Orson Bean.
Number 3, what's the other word for a porpoise?
Dolphin.
Will a porpoise, number 3, or a dolphin push you to shore if you're drowning, or is that an old sailor's tale?
No, it's more than an old sailor's tale. It can happen.
Why would they do that?
They're helpful.
They're helpful and they just want to be nice fellows. Number 1, do you know anything about fish?
A little.
What's the fastest fish?
Porpoise is pretty fast.
Yeah, but, number 2, all right. Now, tell me about Dr. Lilly. Who is he?
Dr. Lilly is a medical doctor who works with porpoises in Florida.
Let me ask you, number 1 said that porpoise is the fastest fish. Do you agree with that statement? And if not, why? I question in 2 parts.
Which part do you wish answered first?
Well, I think it's pretty hard to prove.
Yeah, well, I'm asking about the fish part. Is he a fish?
Well, no, strictly. A porpoise is a mammal.
Yeah, it means he could come in here,
Kitty
right?
Carlisle.
Keep him out.
Number 1, did you go to school in Hawaii?
No.
You just live there now?
Yes.
As number 2, as a curator, what are your duties?
Well, I'm responsible for the well-being of all the live exhibits and for the exhibits themselves in
Thank
Sea
you.
Life Park.
Number 3, how do you make these porpoises jump in unison?
Well, this is a long period of training. It begins by just having one follow the other.
Thank you. Number 1, do they have to be compatible to do things in unison, or doesn't it matter?
They're pretty compatible, generally.
They like each other?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Number 2, do they ever get angry if one gets more praise than the other?
Sometimes, yes.
And what do they do?
They chase each other.
They sign a document. Tom.
Number 2, do you know, are there any killer whales in captivity?
Yes, there are 2. True killer whale.
Where's one that I know of?
One is at the, I think it's the Seattle Aquarium.
Thank you. Number 3, have they ever been trained?
The killer whales?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Could somebody, like, ride them and get next to them and so forth, number 3?
It depends on the particular time of year, but yes, it can be done. They're quite gentle.
Is that so? Number 1, how many kinds of porpoises are there that you know of?
33.
Holy, I thought I knew a lot when I knew 2. Well, number 1, in the pictures that we saw, as the one went through the salam race of those hoops and things, there was one above it. What's that for? What was...
Well, that porpoise we weren't able to train. That porpoise just pretends it's going through.
Oh, fascinating.
That's all we have time for, so go through your own hoops and mark your ballots, if you will, please. Now, panel, mark them at once without change, without any consultation betwixt and between you, and don't change it. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are your ballots all marked? Yes, they are. Tom, for whom?
Well, I figured that it was number 2, but because of her deep suntan, but I loved number 1's answers so much that I'll just guess number 2 is a professional lady golfer. I think it's...
Peggy Cass.
You know, 2 does look like a professional lady golfer, but I voted for it. She may play golf in her time off. To me, she knows an awful lot about all those fish.
Orson Bean.
Well, I was really torn between 1 and 2. On the grounds of incompetence, I think I should be off the show. I don't know. I voted for 1, even though she said that the porpoise is not known for excessive speed. The sailfish and the wahoo can get up to 40.
That's so.
And the smallest insect in the world is the banded louse. 5,670,000 of them weigh an ounce.
How large a band? Never mind. Kitty.
I voted for number 2 on her basis, on the basis, you've got me all mixed up. On the basis of her answers about the fish.
And her knit and suit looks so very comfortable.
Well, that makes it even, Stephen. There were 2 for 1, 2 for 2. Let's go with that and find out how well it fits in the truth area as we learn which one of these 3 young ladies, in truth, is Karen Pryor. Will the real Karen Pryor please stand up? Thank you very much. Thank you. You may be seated. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Mary Mitchell, and I'm a playwright.
Good luck. Number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
Well, I teach 5th grade in PS 110 in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And my name is Leslie Fish.
Thank you. Checking the score, we find there were 2 incorrect votes. That's twice $250, $500 total coming your way, and we thank you very much. This has been an all-lady night and all-lovely lady night tonight for the first time on To Tell the Truth. Good night, and God bless you. That's all we have time for tonight. Good night, panel. Good night to you. See you next week at the same time. Of course, see you tomorrow afternoon, the daytime show. But in the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by light, bracing, clean-tasting Pepsi-Cola, the official drink of the Pepsi generation. Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, tonight's program pre-recorded.